Today we are going to be talking about why most homemade African aviation fails. We have all seen those countless videos whereby an African person is trying to make a helicopter or an airplane, and it keeps on failing and failing and failing over again until it is hilarious at some point, until white people start saying these people cannot do anything by themselves. But I'm going to detail where the problems are and also a framework to fix them. So, without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. Point number one: inadequate investment or inadequate financial resources. What do I mean by this? When you're making something of that sophisticated degree of technology, you cannot just invest some few uh, shillings or whatever currency you use. You cannot invest a little amount of money and expect to achieve uh, such technological prowess. Of course, there's a what do I say? There's a culmination point where you can invest a little money and get the end result. But there's a degree to which, if you reduce the investment past that point, it gets very inefficient, and you get a failed project and you waste your money. And I think this is a very huge problem with these projects, in that they 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 invest very little money that basically cripples the project. The project cannot go forward because there is not enough money. However, there are some people who have been successful at crossing this stage, but they get into other problems. So, problem number two: poor research. There's a plane I saw. The whatever the he was trying to make a light airplane, and this airplane he was powering it with a 1500 cc engine, and this thing is like it's like close to a ton, and the runway he's using is a very rough road. How does he expect that thing to fly? It means he barely did any research in aviation. But I'm glad this problem is, even though it's not fast enough, this problem is slowly disappearing with the advent of the internet, because now people can be exposed to more education and basically research about these projects. And again, we see time and time again the fails. There's actual successes. If this video performs, I'm going to show a collection of actual successes. But these people with successes do not go and make mega huge companies, because they were faced with another secondary set of problems. And then let's go to the next point and address these other secondary problems. And number three, uh, this one, number three, it's not a secondary problem, it's a primary problem, in that people are greedy. They want to achieve that project fast with very little money, with very little research and investment. And I've been in this problem before, but the project I'm currently working on right now, a steel project, I believe it will perform, because I did several poor projects. Like I once tried to make cold drinks, but this cold drinks thing, I did not have a framework of ever starting my own company by myself, even on the minimum investment possible. So this was right off the bat a failed project. So not only should you be financially capable of achieving the prototype by yourself, but also starting mini production by yourself. And that is what I'm targeting, in that the project shall not fail. Because if you underfund it, it fails. And this underfunding, in point number one, is caused because of greed. Not all of the times, but most of the time, it is caused because of greed. People need to get rid of greed, such that this project you are starting, it's not your only source of income. You also have other sources of income. This is like your secondary front. So now let's go to the secondary problems. Secondary problems, it's number four. And number four is this: an unsupportive government. You might find The government has resources that it can fund you if you are talented enough, but they don't. Or maybe you're not visible, or even if they are visible, you are visible, they are unwilling to help you. They are unwilling also to help you to lighten your the framework, that you can succeed and open a business. At times the restrictive environment is so cashed up that you cannot basically do anything. The government basically paralyzes you, and this can be intentional or non-intentional. And in the intentional cases, it's mostly because of foreign interference. Imperialist states like the United States, they mainly rely on their industries are basically gone. They only rely on these high technology industries to still be in the economic market in terms of manufactured goods. Now, if you are trying to compete with them on these high pieces of technology, and number one, you're not a powerful country, you can stand up for yourself like Russia, or you're not their ally like South Korea, they're going to maul you and destroy your business so they can maintain their influence. So there's those problems. An unsupportive government, or even a compromised government, like as we have mentioned, by imperialists that are basically trying to wipe out any form of competition. So number 5, inadequate high-tech education. Yeah, uh, but this one I don't blame the governments of most African countries. I believe most governments have been trying a lot to improve their education, and for nations that are like less than 70 years old, they have even tried to get to this point. But we still need a rapid growth rate to enable people to enable us to have more people of high, tech, high technological knowledge, so they can improve, so they can join with other innovators and other financiers, so we can have such industries. Yeah, and yeah, that's it. And number 6, immigration. You see the movement of education shit, very educated people from African countries to go and work in foreign countries. This is, I think they call it in an English term, they call it brain drain. Yeah. So brain drain is a very serious problem, and we saw how it affected the former Soviet Union, because there's a lot of people, like you remember Igor Sikorsky. He was a Russian. He fled Russia, he went to America and founded a very successful um, helicopter company. You also have a lot of Africans who go to those countries, those white people countries, to innovate, because they basically do not have the resources here. They do not have the resource capacity here, or the conducive environment to achieve those goals. But hopefully, this situation will change, and I believe by getting political power, we can actually implement this. Instead of me here complaining, we get actual political power and a guide, because this is what I was driving at. The only thing we can do to solve this is actually take political power ourselves and build our country, and not only in form of like political ramblings or military campaigns, also economics. It should start with the economic level. You prove an economic level so you can go to the political route, and then the political route. Number one, you should go the democratic route. You just talk, talk, talk. But when you realize these people are not willing to budge, now we go to the military route. So that's basically how we can achieve this. And just as a bonus, I'm very glad. I think today I saw an article saying Trump has banned immigrants from a lot of third world countries. I've not seen which countries are these, but I hope it's a lot of African countries. So people stop going to those white people countries to build them and build the economy. People should come back home and build our own economy. And I hope in the future, the more we gain power, under Gaita, not under any form of other political ideology. It's only under Gaita and under Elder Gaita People's Republic. If we focus our energy, first economic, second political, third military, if we focus our effort there, we are not only going to economically, financially, politically, socially liberate the African people, but we are also going to make them prosper and be themselves and be defended for eternity, or even if not eternity, at least several millenniums, outlasting every dynasty, every state in this world. And I hope we will achieve this by our own effort, by your determination, by your courage, by your hope, by your actions. We shall achieve this. And I believe in all of you that are dedicated to this cause. Thank you for watching.